women you're about to meet say college campuses have become a hunting ground where all too many students become victims of sexual assault. Lady Gaga's performance at the Oscars calling the world's attention to the ongoing epidemic. Tonight, we're with two survivors turned activists who've taken their fight from college campuses to the courthouse, now to the Oscar stage.
You tell me it gets better. It gets better.
It was a show-stopping performance.
You say to pull my...
Lady Gaga passionately belting out her song, Till It Happens to You. Suddenly surrounded by 50 sexual assault survivors, men and women with Unbreakable and Not Your Fault emblazoned on their arms. The young survivors became the emotional crescendo to Lady Gaga's Oscar-nominated song, written for the searing campus rape documentary, The Hunting Ground.
Till it happens to you, you won't know how I feel.
It brought the A-list room to its feet. Captured on Twitter, Best Actress winner Brie Larson hugging each person as they came off the stage. Lady Gaga later posting on Instagram, "Thank you for standing next to me on stage." 50 survivors, so brave, relentless determination.
I am myself a survivor. I'm very grateful to the Academy for giving us this world stage.
The artist, who's gone public about her own sexual assault, was introduced on stage by Vice President Joe Biden, issuing a call to action.
To take the pledge, a pledge that says, I will intervene in situations when consent has not or cannot be given. Let's change the culture.
It seems the call was heard, with the It's On Us campaign hitting 300,000 pledges following the vice president's speech.
One of the first things that Lady Gaga actually said was, I want you to make them feel your pain, which at first it was just, wow, that was really deep. What does that mean? But I think we definitely felt a lot of pain, a lot of courage on that stage.
How I feel.
For some of the 50 people on stage, this was the first time they came forward about their assaults. But a number of them, including Annie Clark and Andrea Pino, courageously told their stories in the Hunting Ground documentary.
We've got a lot further to go. The first few weeks, I made some of my best friends, but 2 of us were sexually assaulted before classes had even started.
Annie and Andrea together helped found the group End Rape on Campus after they say they were both raped while attending the University of North Carolina.
Our college is safe. I think the answer right now is they could be, but we're not doing enough yet.
Over the last year, the issue of rape on campus exploding onto the national consciousness, provoking soul-searching conversations at universities nationwide.
When we're behind stage, a lot of similar themes were repeated. And one of them was my assault was bad, my rape was bad, but the way I was treated by people was worse.
There's a lot of victim blaming.
He lectured us about how we shouldn't go out in short skirts.
The filmmakers behind The Hunting Ground sought to expose what they call a shocking epidemic of violence and institutional cover-ups.
Universities are protecting a brand.
Sweeping college campuses across America.
When you're scared, when you don't know what's happening to you, you just stay there and you hope that you don't die.
Annie and Andrea sat down with my colleague Amy Robach last year. Annie says she faced more questions than support when she reported her incident to officials at University of North Carolina.
Why didn't you go to police?
I didn't know who it was. I was scared, and I was young. You hear horror stories, and I know there are a lot of wonderful police officers out there, but to sit through and explain to a total stranger the absolute worst thing that happened to your body. And I didn't want my friends to know. I didn't want my parents to know.
According to the Bureau of Justice statistics, only 20% of sexual assaults on college females are reported to police. Andrea and Annie say their frustration over UNC's response motivated them to take action, filing a Title IX complaint with the Department of Education, something they learned about in class at that same university.
It just came up in one of my political science courses about sexual harassment laws and Anita Hill, and reading about how Title IX was initially about gender equity, not sports.
Their central argument, UNC's handling of sexual assault allegations violated their civil right to education. Annie and Andrea helping to spur a national movement, encouraging women at colleges around the country to come forward.
My name is Carolyn Luby.
My name is Alexa Schwartz.
My name is Ari Mostov.
We started seeing, what was happening at campuses across the country. Why has no one connected the dots before?
One of the big problems is that schools don't want to be the one spearheading this issue. And what schools have to be doing is prioritizing less their image and more the safety of their students, and actually empowering those students to report if anything happens to them.
In a statement to ABC News, when the film was released, UNC said they've implemented a comprehensively revised policy on sexual assault and mandatory prevention training, adding this documentary heightens awareness. It shows how the strong activism of students, including 2 of our former students, have changed federal law.
One of the things that schools really struggle with is that they think it's going to go away, but we're not going to go away. We're not going to be avoiding these lawsuits. They have to start thinking that survivors have to be the priority in these conversations.
Just last month, Florida State University settled a high-profile Title IX case involving Tampa Bay Buccaneers quarterback Jameis Winston, a former student.
I kind of just want to know, why me?
In the hunting ground, Erica Kinsman claims she was raped by the football star when they were classmates. Winston maintained his innocence, was never charged by police, and was cleared by the university. But then, Erica filed that Title IX lawsuit against FSU for failing to properly investigate the incident. The university settled for close to $1 million in exchange for her dropping the suit. The university president saying in a statement that they settled in order to move forward and that they believe that the ultimate outcome of a trial would have been consistent with the previous law enforcement investigations.
More than anything, Erica really wants FSU to support survivors. That's why she did this. That's why she came forward. She's getting nothing out of this. All she's doing is for the exact same reason we did, is because we want other people to know that they're not alone.
And that's what they say last night was about, standing together in a unified front. Several even got matching tattoos, an image of a rose on fire that means unity. They tell us that Lady Gaga is planning a matching one of her own.
The fact that we're all on stage together and we're all connected through this horrific experience, but finally taking a stand, I think it shows a shift in our culture, and you shouldn't have to stand on an Oscar stage to be believed and supported.
You can see the full documentary, The Hunting Ground, on iTunes now.